Hello and welcome to St Peter Mancroft, to those of you here in church and those of you watching online. I'm Fiona Haworth, the Associate Priest. This is part of our series of live-streamed reflections from Mancroft, and if you're visiting the church, please feel free to continue looking around. Today is Ash Wednesday, the beginning of the season of Lent in the church's calendar. It is also St Valentine's Day, bringing a strange clash of competing worldviews. It is surprising the many ways in which hearts can be used decoratively and commercially. A clinic near me has strings of hearts in the reception area. Chocolates come in heart-shaped boxes. Plush toys clutch satin hearts. What I haven't seen is an abundance of invitations to contemplate our mortality. The student Christian movement has tried to combine the 2 days, my favourite being Love Heart Sweets, bearing the words Memento Mori, repent, or turn away from sin. They have also mocked up a Valentine card with the Lent in Valentine capitalized for emphasis, and another which shows 2 skeletons locked in a tender embrace with the words, "Roses are red, violets are blue, remember you are dust, and to dust you'll return too." Whilst these offerings from SCN are fun, they do highlight the discomfort many feel at the greater themes of Lent, which Ash Wednesday points towards. Lent is a solemn time in which we are called to self-examination, penitence, self-denial, study, and preparation for Easter. The name Ash Wednesday comes from the ashes used to mark the sign of the cross on the foreheads of those seeking to keep a holy Lent, ash being an ancient sign of penitence. The ashes are made by burning the palm crosses from last year and mixing the ash with oil. I always find the service of the imposition of ashes a very moving one. The feeling of the gritty ash as it meets my skin calls me to turn again to God. When I was a team vicar some years ago, I asked a teenager in our congregation to assist with ashing the congregation. The words traditionally said as the cross is marked on the forehead are, "Remember that you are but dust, and to dust you shall return. Turn away from your sin and be faithful to Christ." Nothing quite focuses the mind like having a teenager telling you that you are but dust, and to dust you shall return. A retired priest in the congregation struggling with ill health asked me not to use those words when I ashed him. Traditionally, Lent has been a season of abstinence, in part for practical reasons. It falls in the Northern Hemisphere in what is sometimes known as the hunger gap, the period when food carefully preserved and stored over the winter is running out, and the new fresh growth is yet to emerge. To mark the season of Lent, the good rich food kept over from the winter was consumed in the days leading up to Ash Wednesday, with Shrove Tuesday being the day to use up flour, eggs, and milk. English is an outlier linguistically in using shrove, derived from the word shriven, meaning to make a confession and receive absolution. Elsewhere, Shrove Tuesday is known for the feasting that took place, Fat Wednesday appearing in various languages. Culturally, the observant of Lent, which has remained in the secular world, has become associated with giving up unhealthy food. For many outside the church, it seems to function as a season of self-improvement. Giving up chocolate, biscuits, crisps, or alcohol are common. Some go vegetarian for Lent. Some wise advice I came across for those contemplating giving up something for Lent is this: If your relationship with food has been problematic or disordered, then find something else to do. Someone I know gave up plastic, which proved to be a very challenging Lenten discipline. She lived in London and was fortunate to have a number of independent shops close by, willing to transfer items to the variety of containers she carried with her when shopping. Self-denial can take other forms, perhaps more challenging than something external like giving up a foodstuff or plastic. There are many temptations we need to resist. Taking on too much, being too hard on ourselves, allowing our frustrations to negatively impact on others. Perhaps a more positive Lenten discipline would be to resist the typical responses that frustration prompts in us, being grumpy when we are tired, eating too much when we are feeling low or stressed. As the years pass, I find myself more and more drawn to the practice of taking up something for Lent. One year I wrote haikus every day. Another year I chose to read a poem a day. This year I'm contemplating a discipline called A Bird from the Lord. It is essentially the practice of committing to spending 10 minutes each day in nature, being still and watching, and receiving whatever you see as a gift from God. The Lenten discipline of study is also an important one. This year, as last, we are joining with St. Stephen's for our Lent course, considering the theme of sanctuary. This will be run in person and online, so do get in touch if you would like to know more. At its heart, Lent is an opportunity to ready ourselves for Easter, to turn away from the distractions with which we tend to fill our lives, and to turn again to God, to make space in our lives for all that is good and life-giving, to allow ourselves to grow. Ultimately, Lent is an invitation to prepare to receive new life, and what could be more loving than this? I'd like to finish by circling back to where I started with Ash Wednesday and St. Valentine's Day. C.S. Lewis, the great Christian scholar and writer, married late in life, knowing that his wife Joy had been diagnosed with terminal cancer. The epitaph he wrote for Joy after her death draws on the themes of love and loss, of Lent and Easter. Here the whole world, stars, water, air and field and forest, as they were reflected in a single mind, like cast-off clothes, was left behind in ashes. Yet with hopes that she, reborn from holy poverty in Lenten lands, hereafter may resume them on her Easter day.